Good afternoon. Welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn and my video for Monday, Marvellous Monday masking video today. This is the last one from my masking series and I'm using one of the beautiful butterflies and flowers masks coordinating with the Quiet Meadow stamp set and the beautiful meadow dies, which work together as a bundle and currently are discounted 20% to buy the bundle together, which is a really good deal for March. And I'm also using one of the tailor-made tags as well for my card. If you've been following me with the masking projects, you'll know that I love using the Stamparatus to do my sponging for the masks. It's a really great way to keep everything sitting in the right place without movement. Let me get all my bits and pieces out here ready for you. So I'm using Rich Razzleberry and Whisper White today. Now I've already done some of my die cutting, my tag and my greeting panel. There's my ribbon for the top of my tag. Now here's my card, standard card, and for inside of my card I've got, and the front of the card, exactly the same measurements for my Whisper White and Rich Razzleberry matte. Okay, so we just need one of these to create the beautiful pattern for the front of the card. And this time I'm using this repeating pattern. Now, the other beauty of using a Stamparatus is there's a grid. Now I have got the paper pad grid, but also on your Stamparatus there is a grid on there which enables you to line up your mask and your paper perfectly. I'm going to pop my magnet right in the middle because I'm going to cover that up later on with my tag detail. Okay, and one of my blending brushes, this is the blending brush I use for all of my purples and purple tones. I have a separate one I use for pink tones and blue tones and red tones, just so that I can be a little bit lazy and not wash my brush in between uses. Okay, and then just with all masking, the more you put on, the more you rub, the darker your colour will be. If you don't re-ink your brush, it will go lighter. Okay, let me just pull that back for you so you can see the variations in tone. And I absolutely love the variations in tone you can get with your masks, and the fact that the blending brush sometimes can create a little dollop of extra ink, but when you're using the masks, this is camouflaged beautifully by the pattern that you have already established on your cardstock. Okay, so that's probably enough for that. Alright, take off one mask and there we are. Gorgeous detail for the front of my card. Okay, I was just checking to see if I'd used any mask detail for the inside of my card, but not this one. Alright, so that's that bit done. While I've got my Rich Razzleberry ink out, I will do a little bit of the stamping for the Rich Razzleberry. I can just pop that one aside there on my label and inside my card. This Quiet Meadow stamp set has some really beautiful images in it and also gorgeous elements that are great for collage stamping and creating a beautiful vintage look. I'm a big fan of splotches, and a stamped splotch for me is so much more achievable than flicking my ink, which sometimes I find a bit of a challenge. So I'm using Heartfelt Love and Caring Thoughts Are With You for inside my card. Just pop that there. Oops, not quite stamped properly. Thank goodness I've got an extra side to my cardstock. And stamp that again. Give it a bit more time. Perfect. Clean that one. Get my Thinking of You stamp for my label here. And hopefully that's lined up properly. A little bit crooked. let me just flip that one over as well. That's a little bit better. Okay, and I think that's, oh hang on, got a little bit more of the Rich Razzleberry to do. I've given some of the, as I was saying, about the beautiful splatter detail. So I'm just going to put a little bit of splatter detail on the bottom of my card there and also on my tag. And then that's the Rich Razzleberry stamping all done. Next I'm going to stamp those gorgeous flowers using Sahara sand. This enables me to make the colouring the star of the show. So just pop my flowers onto my tag there and also onto the corner of my card. And then we'll use some fabulous stamping blends to colour in my flowers. I'm using Fresh Freesia, light and dark. Just going to add a little bit of colour down there on my flowers. I'm using the brush tip because it enables me to fill it up quite quickly and not have too many variations in tone. Okay, there we are. And I think that's a flower there too. And folded up flower there. And then with my dark one and the bullet tip, I'm just going to use the details on the actual stamped image to draw extra lines in, which will give a little bit of depth to my image, and put some shadows behind petals, and then I can come back later on, although I don't need to because I laid down enough of the light one. It has blended in plenty there because there was plenty of ink, plenty of alcohol down for the colour to blend beautifully, which is why I do like to use the brush tip, because it brings more alcohol onto the surface of the cardstock, which helps it to blend better. And the same detail with my tag. And colouring each petal individually. Just a label, and the same with my dark, using the bullet tip, just draw on the edges of my petals, following the image, the actual stamped image and all of the detail that's already on the image to give you more depth. And then as the colour mixes in with the alcohol, you've got your two-tone and bits of shading, so I don't really need to add too much blending there to make it all sit beautifully. Now I've got also my Stampin' Write marker here, which works beautifully as well. This one's crushed curry, and put some colour in the centres of my flowers there. And last of all, some mint macaron for my branches and leaves. All of those details there. And this one too. Remembering always this is a work of art, not meant to be perfect or precise. It's a work of art from my heart, which is why I love making cards, because it's a gift from the heart. I don't think anyone expects me to be absolutely perfect at it, but I make it because I love it, and I love to give people handmade. I think it's in our day and age of quick gratification and quick decisions, it's nice to focus on the handmade. And there we go. There's all my colouring complete, and we can almost ready to put our card, start putting our card together. So let's stick together the bits and pieces that we have, and then we'll die cut the extra pieces later on after we've got all of our bits together. So there's the mat for the front of the card, and our stamped panel for inside the card. Okay, we can pop this one straight inside. Oh, roll on my adhesive so it works properly. Okay, pop this one inside. And this one on the front. I find working in one colour, so here I'm just using Rich Razzleberry basically, makes it so much easier to make cards if I'm just working in one basic colour family than trying to coordinate colours. Okay, put my ribbon on my tag. Loop it through. This is a beautiful sparkly organza ribbon from our annual catalogue. I love just the subtle sparkle through it is really beautiful. Okay, pop that over the bit where I had my magnet. Right, now to give it a little bit of extra, oh, that's the right way, I will put dimensionals on the back of this so I know which is the right way, so I don't get confused. So that's ready. And now I've got my Rich Razzleberry piece here and some of the elements from the meadow dies, so the long frond of vegetation and two butterfly pieces. So these meadow dies have the label that we use for the Thinking of You, and also lots of other gorgeous florally bits and pieces. Because I'm using one colour, I'm just using this one. And my little mate, this cute little flow here. The emboss machine. My cardstock down, my frond, and my butterflies. And this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is currently 80% off. You'll never get it that cheap ever again. So for us in Australia, that's $83. It's an absolute bargain for a tool that you can use for so many dies in our collection. There we go. And also we have some embossing folders that are specifically designed to fit into the mini. So it's the best little tool. Okay, look at that gorgeous thing. And our beautiful butterflies have one and two butterflies. There we go. Now I'm going to stick this guy on first. I'm just going to use a bit of liquid glue for him. Just run on the back of him and pop that onto my card. Across there. I've just found the spot where I'm going to put my butterfly. I've got some sort of smudge there. Pop my Thinking of You over here, down here. There we go. And one butterfly with a mini dimensional on the back. And as I said, I've got a little smudge of some sort. I think it's actually adhesive there. Problem solved. and then butterfly for the inside. Don't have to cover any sponges for the inside, so I can choose wherever I want my butterfly to go. There we are. That's the last of my, you can see how I've used a lot more intense colour on the front of this one. The last of my masking projects. On Thursday, when you come and watch me at 10 o'clock, I will be creating the first of my series with the Waves of the Ocean bundle, which I really love. Bye bye now. Thanks for joining me. Thanks so much, Myrtle, for being with me. And thanks everybody who came along. I love it when you join me. Bye bye now.